here with Statifying Football. This is your Week 12. These are the noon games. Starting off at the top with Indiana and Ohio State, both teams in the top 10. Surprisingly, Indiana is. They beat Michigan State 24-0. Michael Penix Jr., 320 passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Ty Fryfogle, 11 catches, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, had 4 sacks, only allowed 191 yards, and had 4 turnovers. Ohio State played a couple of weeks ago against Rutgers. They beat them 49-27. Justin Fields, 314 passing, 5 touchdowns, plus 1 rushing. Garrett Wilson, 6 catches, 104 and a touchdown. They had 517 yards of offense. This could be a pretty high-scoring game, but I expect Ohio State to take care of Indiana. All right, Clemson, Florida State. Clemson lost a couple of weeks ago to Notre Dame in overtime, 47-40. DJ Uiagalelei, 439 passing, 2 touchdowns, plus 1 rushing. Cornell Powell, 6 catches, 161 and a touchdown. Amari Rodgers, 8 catches, 134 receiving. They only had 34 rushing yards in that game and 3 turnovers, which led to a loss. Trevor Lawrence should be back for this game. Florida State, they sucked this year. They got beat by North Carolina State 38-22. Chubba Purdy, 181 passing, 2 touchdowns. Ontario Wilson, 7 catches, 117 and a touchdown. They're back down to Jordan Travis and whoever their backup quarterbacks are. Chubba Purdy is hurt, out for the season. James Blackman is transferring, so they're whittled down there. I don't think they have a chance in that game. Florida and Vanderbilt. Florida, Kyle Trask, man, up for the Heisman. 6 touchdown passes against Arkansas. They beat them 63-35. Trask 356, 6 touchdowns. Trevon Grimes, 6 catches, 109 and 2 touchdowns. They had 593 yards, 4 sacks, and a fumble return touchdown there. They did give up 458. Vanderbilt has been able to move it a little bit on teams. They lost to Kentucky 38-35. Ken Seals, 225 and 2 touchdowns. Keon Henry Brooks ran for 121 himself. Florida shouldn't have much trouble there. Kyle Trask, though, all 6 games this year, he's had at least 4 touchdown passes or more in all of them, and hopefully he keeps that streak going. Appalachian State and Coastal Carolina, huge game in the Sun Belt. Appalachian State is 6-1. Coastal Carolina is 7-0 and ranked. They're number 15. App State beat Georgia State in a close game, 17-13. Zach Thomas, 146 passing, a touchdown and a pick. Coastal Carolina played a couple of weeks ago against South Alabama, beating them 23-6. Grayson McCall, 209 passing, plus 1 passing touchdown, and 72 rushing yards. They had 5 sacks there. This should be an awesome game back and forth. Could be pretty high scoring. At the very least, a very close game. I'll give the slight edge to Coastal Carolina, but this is really one to keep an eye on. Under the radar, they're in the Sun Belt. Not a lot of teams paying attention, but really good football there. All right, Memphis taking on 1AA Stephen F. Austin. Memphis beat USF a couple of weeks ago, 34-33. Brady White, 437 passing, 4 touchdowns and a pick. Sean Dyke, 7 catches, 147 and 2 touchdowns. Calvin Austin, 5 catches, 102 and 2 touchdowns. 535 total offense. They shouldn't have much problem in winning this game. Illinois and Nebraska. Illinois had a nice close win against Rutgers, 23-20. Isaiah Williams, not very good passing, 7 of 18 for 104, but he ran for 192 yards and a touchdown. Chase Brown added 131 rushing. They ran for 338 yards as a team and forced 3 turnovers in that game. If they want to beat Nebraska, they're going to have to do that again. Nebraska, they beat Penn State 30-23. Luke McCaffrey came in, 152 passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, plus 67 rushing yards and a touchdown. They had a fumble return touchdown there. I think Nebraska may be getting something going offensively with Luke McCaffrey at quarterback, so I think they win against Illinois. All right, then you got ECU, East Carolina Pirates, and then Temple Owls. ECU, they got drilled by Cincinnati, 55-17. Holton Ahlers had a terrible game, 9-20, 87 yards, 3 interceptions. Keaton Mitchell did run for 124 and a touchdown, but that was about all they had. Temple, they got shellacked by UCF, 38-13. Real Mitchell, he also had a bad game, 10-23, 107, 2 picks. They had 3 turnovers there. East Carolina has at least shown potential on offense throughout the season. I do think they are the ones that will bounce back and get the win. LSU and Arkansas. LSU hasn't played in a few weeks since they got killed by Auburn, 48-11. Both their quarterbacks were okay. Max Johnson, 172 passing and a touchdown. TJ Finley, 143 passing, 2 picks. That's not very good. They only had 32 rushing yards in that game. Whereas Arkansas, they got killed by Florida 63-35, but they did put up 458 yards. Felipe Franks, 250 passing and 2 touchdowns. Traylon Smith, 118 rushing and a touchdown. Mike Woods, 2 catches, 129 and 2 touchdowns there. I do think this will be a little bit close. I think LSU bounces back a little bit, but I'm actually going to go with Arkansas to edge them out in the win. All right, Georgia Southern Army. This may be a game that only lasts about 2 hours. Both triple option teams. Both are going to run all the time. Could be pretty close, low scoring game by both teams. Georgia Southern, they won in a shootout against Texas State 40-38. Shea Wertz, 51 yards passing and a pick, not very good, but he ran for 131 and 3 touchdowns. They ran for 386 yards as a team and forced 3 turnovers. Whereas Army couldn't keep up with Tulane, 38-12. Christian Anderson, not very good passing, 4 of 12, 36 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks, added 77 rushing yards and a touchdown. They did run for 270, but they turned it over 3 times. Georgia Southern over the last few years have been one of the better teams in the country in forcing turnovers. Like I said, I think this will be a really close game. Both teams are very, very good, but I'll give Georgia Southern that slight edge there. All right, Florida International and Western Kentucky. Florida International lost to Florida Atlantic 38-19. However, Max Bortenslagger did come in later in the game and showed a little bit of spark in that offense, passing for 149 and a touchdown. Devontae Price went off in that game as a running back, ran for 178 and a touchdown. Rivaldo Fairweather, 7 catches, 116 and a touchdown. Western Kentucky, they did win their game against Southern Miss, but it was only 10-7. Tyro Pigram, 183 passing, plus 32 rushing and a touchdown. Defensively, they had 6 sacks in that game. Western Kentucky, the last 2 games, they won 10-6 and lost 10-7. They haven't shown much on offense. Whereas FIU, they've kind of been hot and cold on offense this year. They seem to have a pretty good running back in Price. If Bortenschlager plays, he's shown a little bit. I think FIU, the Florida International Panthers, should bounce back a little bit from that loss, at least enough to get a win here. Could be kind of a low-scoring game, like a 16-10 kind of game, but I think FIU comes out on top. All right, Rice in North Texas. Neither team has played in a few weeks. Rice beat Southern Miss a few weeks ago, 30-6. Mike Collins, 233 passing, 4 touchdowns. Yuma Otoviano, 111 rushing. Austin Trammell, 7 catches, 143 and 3 touchdowns. North Texas, I keep talking about this game. They beat Middle Tennessee State 52-35. They had 3 guys rush for over 100 yards, including their quarterback. They had like 750 yards, 68 yards, whatever, of offense. This could be a high-scoring game, but I think North Texas would be the one to outshoot Rice. All right, BYU North Alabama. BYU killed Boise State 51-17. They're undefeated, number 9 in the country. Zach Wilson, 360 passing, 3 touchdowns, plus 1 rushing. Tyler Algier, 123 rushing and 2 touchdowns. Gunnar Romney, 6 catches, 133, 573 total yards. I don't think this will be any problem at all. They should destroy North Alabama. By the end of the first quarter, it could be like 28-0. All right, UTSA and Southern Miss. UTSA Roadrunners, they beat UTEP really soundly, 52-21. Frank Harris, 312 passing, plus 3 passing touchdowns, plus 43 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Brendan Brady added 124 rushing. Zachary Franklin, 6 catches, 118 yards and a touchdown. They had 600 total yards in that game. Whereas Southern Miss, they lost to Western Kentucky 10-7. They had 154 rushing yards, but that was really about it. I expect UTSA to win this game, and it may not be that close. All right, then the final noon game, Arkansas State and Texas State. If you like passing, this is all the passing you can handle. Arkansas State lost a couple of weeks ago, 27-20 to Louisiana Lafayette. Both quarterbacks played though. Logan Bonner, 127 passing, 2 interceptions. Lane Hatcher, 97 passing and a touchdown. Both of them could easily get over like 300 yards each in that game. They've done it a couple of times this season. Lincoln Pear ran for 121. Texas State, they lost in a shootout to Georgia Southern, 40-38. They had 2 quarterbacks playing. Brady McBride, 155 passing, 2 touchdowns. Tyler Vitt, 114 passing, a touchdown, 2 picks. They only had 30 rushing yards. I expect a shit ton of passing in this game, but I think Arkansas State will be the one that shoots last. So those are my picks for noon games. Check out my 331 and my primetime games. Peace.